Let's put our hands together. We're going to stab that clutch one more time, hit the gas pedal, and shift that gear as we go to the planners with just one of the dynamic duo this morning from Turning Tides Financial, LLC in Williamsville and Orchard Park. Julianne Lepo is with us. Katie is going to be coming up next month. We're going to have to get her on the air with us. And Julianne's going to cover in its entirety divorce, expected or not. A few steps to take to begin to feel more in control, whether you're we told or you're the one who initiated divorce. So if reconciliation's not an option and you need to prepare for divorce properly, effectively, with correct information, because divorce equals an emotion, a roller coaster. And making the decisions you'll face very difficult to handle on your own. Been there. Let's welcome Julianne. And get your crayons ready. Get that wrapper peeled back. You don't want to run out of crayon. And let's take some notes this morning and welcome Julianne Lepo from Turning Tides Financial, LLC. Living your life, planning your future. Good morning, Julianne.
Good morning, Niall. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm good. We are rolling and introduce Turning Tides. I hope I did a decent job. Anyway,
you did an outstanding job. You always do. We're so fortunate. Thank you so much. Turning Tides Financial is a corporation that we formed a number of years ago after Katie and I decided that we wanted to take a much more personal approach to retirement planning, investment management, personal financial management, and especially divorce financial planning. Katie and I have over 40 years experience between the two of us. We're LPL Financial advisors and certified divorce financial analysts. And so we are joining you today to talk a little bit more and expand a little bit more, Kyle, on our conversation from last week, where I explained a little bit about how a certified divorce financial analyst works on behalf of our clients, what benefit we bring to you if you are considering in the process or even finalized through your divorce. And today we are excited to talk to you a little bit about what we can do to help you through this process. Some of the top things that we want you to start considering, taking a good, long, hard look at in order to get prepared. Obviously, Turning Tides is not here to promote divorce.
Right.
But if you believe that you've taken all the steps you can, this is the inevitable path. It happens. It happens to a really high percentage of people, including in our Christian world. And so if we have to know that this is going to happen, let's make sure that we make a really difficult situation as easy as possible by informing everyone, keeping you informed, keeping you educated, and helping you feel like you are in control. We are here as your advocates, your financial advocates through Turning Tides Financial. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Excellent. And what are some of the dangers in somebody heading that direction, or they find themselves already in it and they may have been already lashing around for a year or so trying to get through a divorce? What are some of the dangers of taking advice and suggestions from the they portion that have no experience?
Yeah, and Niall, thank you for bringing that point up, because it really is a good point. And we surround ourselves by family and friends and coworkers that really do try to have our best interest at heart. They love us, they care for us, and they don't want to see us go through this. And everyone has an opinion. And sometimes those opinions are really helpful, and other times they could be a bit misleading. So one of the first things that I recommend my clients do is take a breath, slow things down, and start with a few steps. And that's where I want to make sure that everyone has their crayon, as you say, and their paper, because this is stuff I'm going to give you very specific things. But to your point of asking yourselves, is this information helpful to me? We have to be able to kind of segregate that information. This information is what my friends have given me. This is information that I've heard or maybe even read. And I'm going to put that in a little box in my mind, and then I'm going to find and I'm going to gather information from my team. And your team should look like maybe your counselor, because that's where you're going to get some emotional guidance, or your pastor or your church group. Then you're going to want to talk about finding when's the right time to find an attorney and having a certified divorce financial analyst. We are not attorneys, but we are certified in the arena of divorce financial planning. So I often work with clients before they start searching out an attorney, because we talk about the different types of divorce. There's a number of different ways a divorce can be approached through mediation. Excuse me. I'm still recovering a bit from a cold. You
That's
can still
okay.
look through mediation. You can look through litigation. You can file through collaborative divorce planning. So sometimes clients will look to me as a certified divorce financial analyst to start to get their information together so that they don't fall into those pitfalls of taking too much information from people that maybe don't know. They aren't intending to give false information. They simply don't know. And then, of course, we want to bring in your attorney.
Right. Now, do you, at that point, are you in the room with their attorney plus your client?
And that's a really very valid point. It really depends on each individual client. I have worked on both sides of that scenario where I'm sitting with the client and their attorney. I sit with just the client. If the client hasn't found an attorney yet, I can help them do that because I have a number of contacts, obviously, here in the U.S. And then, of course, if they say, you know what, I'm about 95% through this, I really need you to just help me understand where we are and what it's going to look like for me on the other side. Ideally, I really am very passionate about this, and I want to be able to help from as close to the beginning as possible. But sometimes people don't know that I'm out here, right? They don't know that there's such a thing as a certified divorce financial analyst. They thought that the attorney was their only advocate. And so the beautiful thing to our story here today, Niall, is that they have another advocate in their corner with us. So we can help them prepare for this process and understand this process, even if they don't have an attorney yet. So we can take whatever approach they want, whether that's to sit with only them and review every legal document as it comes through to help them understand it, to help them prepare, help them understand their financial world, or we can sit with their attorney when they go. I have one of my dear, dear clients that has become very dear to me that I literally go to every one of her attorney's appointments with her. I've become very good friends with her attorney because she's done an outstanding job for her, but she didn't know that that was even an option. And now it's made this process, very difficult process, make it easy, make it hard, right?
Right.
We try and make it a little bit easier. And that's the other thing we're going to talk about here today is what the steps actually are in the logistics of where you are in this process.
Okay, let's unpack this thing, girl. We got a lot of mileage to cover.
There is a lot of stuff. So
there is a lot of stuff.
There is a lot of stuff, Niall, and thank you for being so patient with my outlines for going over this stuff because you can see how important it is that we go over each of these things.
You know, the saying is, if I knew then what I know now, things would have been a whole lot smoother, a whole lot emotionally better, and a whole lot better prepared.
And
so thanks, Julianne, for putting this together. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. And you know, it's true. And sadly, I guess it's a two-sided situation when I say sadly that I do hear that often. Niall, I can't tell you how many people say to me, oh my gosh, if I'd only known you when I was going through it.
Yeah.
So the good news is that I can still help those people that have already gone through it because sometimes, even once you're through that process, you're standing there with this whole new financial world, these whole new directions for yourself, these whole new set of directives and initiatives that you have to take that you just don't know where to begin with. So what I say to anyone and everyone that's listening, my U.S. friends and Canadian friends, of course, if I can try and help, I will. But know this, if you're already through this process and you still feel like, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do now, I have these funds that moved over, or I didn't really receive much of anything, and I have this new financial path I'm supposed to be on, and I just don't know what to do and how to do it. We can still help you. Just because you've signed the documents that have been filed and the divorce is finalized, it doesn't mean this journey is over. It simply means it's a new journey for you personally and individually, and we can help you through that, whether it's through personal financial management or investment management, insurance strategies. All of those types of things are your new world, and we're going to help you take yourself to that next planning level. So know that that's there on that side. But if we're in the very, very beginning, there's some logistics that we, as your certified divorce financial analysts, are going to help you with. There's specific steps that you need to take in order to begin getting yourself ready. So if everyone's ready, I'd like you to have your pad of paper and your crayons, and we're going to get started on some very specific information.
Awesome. Let's roll. I think I heard someone say they were ready.
Great. Let's start by getting ourselves organized. I know that sounds pretty basic in general, but you know what? It's not. People think, you know what, maybe they take the mindset that let's let the chips fall where they may. It is what it is. If this is going to happen, I mean, the law is 50-50, right? Well, not necessarily. It depends on a lot of variables, how long you've been married, the health of both you and your partner, the education of both you and your partner. If there were assets before the marriage, or with everything accumulated during the marriage. There's a lot of pieces and moving pieces. So we want to make sure that you get yourself organized. I never want my clients to take the approach that the process will work itself out. That's what we have lawyers for. No. That's not why we have lawyers. We have lawyers to complete the legal logistics of this new binding agreement. But they're not there to make sure that your financial future is what you want it to be. They're there to make sure that things are as close to fair and equitable as everyone can come to an agreement for. They're not there to plan your new financial future. They're not there to plan your retirement plan. They're not there to make sure that you have the type of insurance that you believe you should have for yourself, for your family, for your beneficiaries, for your life protection. They're there for a very specific reason that I can't do and you can't do. They are there to separate a legal binding contract and create a new legal binding contract. My job is to help you plan your financial future. So getting organized, not sitting back thinking, it is what it is, it'll take care of itself. My lawyer's got that. Your lawyer's going to help with part of it. The Certified Divorce Financial Analyst is going to help you as your financial advocate. We're going to do that by helping you understand what type of documents you need. There's a lot of information that you really should start gathering. Whether you are being the person that's initiating the divorce, you are the person that is being told this is happening, if it's both of you coming to the mutual agreement, this gathering of information is absolutely going to be imperative to making this process easier for you. Things like tax returns, 2 to 3 years worth of tax returns is going to be very important. Bank statements, check registers for your checking account, even for the past year. And we're going to talk about that specifically in a minute. But I want to make sure that people know they should be gathering their investment and retirement statements, life insurance statements. And remember, life insurance statements sometimes only come once a year. You don't need to have the whole policy. You just need to know what it is and be able to review that with your attorney and with your CDFA. Your CDFA, of course, is the Certified Divorce Financial Analyst, so if anybody hears me say CDFA, that's me.
Okay. All right.
You want to make sure you have your credit card statements, all of them, yours individually, your spouses, if they have any individually, and anything that's joint, because that's going to go to the ability to paying down the debt, hopefully, who is going to be responsible for what percentage, and so that's why that's important, along with your mortgage statements, any of those types of outstanding home equity, any personal loans, all of that. You want to find your Social Security statement that comes. It usually is once a year, and if you don't get it in the mail anymore, because I know Social Security stopped printing them at some point, socialsecurity.gov you can go to and get that printed out. If you have wills in place, those are going to be important to have because sometimes we forget to get those little details ironed out inside the will. Mm-hmm. I don't do wills, but I do review them, and then, of course, we can find an attorney that can help you if you don't have one. Auto registrations. People forget about the auto registration and insurance policies on our cars. Having those at hand is another, even though I don't personally take care of car insurance, I certainly can help you make some phone calls to make sure everything gets in line the way that it should be. Things that we often forget when we're gathering documents. And these are two really important things because this is going to help you understand what future benefits you'll be entitled to. Your employee benefit booklet for both spouses. That's going to tell us about the health care costs for everyone individually and as well as a group. It's going to talk about pensions. It's going to talk about earned vacation days. People don't think about that, but vacation days have a value when it comes to planning. Some people don't spend their vacation days and have 365 vacation days. Well, that's a year's worth of an income that has to be taken into consideration. So it's things like that that the average Joe isn't going to think about. And then, of
That's
course,
true.
recent pay stubs. That is important because there's taxes that are involved in your payroll, and those things are taken into consideration when we start considering how monies want to be separated. Taxes are a big consideration, but we have to see where the starting point is. So you can see here how just the very beginning process can already feel daunting. And what I say to you is take a breath, get a bag, and just start putting stuff in it. Don't try to make heads or tails out of anything. If it feels good to make yourself a spreadsheet and to write things down in an organized fashion, fabulous. But you don't have to do that. You can just grab a bag, grab a box, start putting things in there, and then you bring it to me and we go through it together. And we help organize you and help you understand what each and every one of those documents is, how it's benefiting you, what it means, all of that. So you can see, Niall, how this goes well beyond just reading a divorce decree and making somebody understand it.
And getting completely confused by people that mean well in giving you suggestions and advice, and my friend of a friend of a friend did this. And no, you have to do this for you so that you're in control of what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, so get that bag, get that box, and let's get going with the documents.
Right. And that's the very first thing. So now we take a breath because we've done that.
Okay.
And the next piece is hard as well, Niall, because it depends on which role you took in the world of your household finance. Okay. Sometimes both people take a very active role. Oftentimes I see one takes more of the financial role in the marriage than the other. But it's important, regardless of which of those positions you stood in, we have to help you understand your household budget. And that's tough, right? Because we think, oh, yeah, I know my gas bill, my electric bill, cable bill, mortgage.
But if you weren't handling that, if you weren't handling those purse strings, you go, I have no idea what's going on
whatsoever. And then you take it, and then we sit down and we start going through your check register for the past year, and we start listing all of the expenses that include, the utilities and the car insurance and the life insurance and mortgage. And then we start looking a little bit closer, and then we go, oh, look how much we spent on food. Okay, but wait, look how much we spent on entertainment. Look how much we spent on going out. And until we really start writing that down, we have no idea how much we really spend. And then there's things like dry cleaning, and then the kids' dance class, and the soccer class, and the, extracurricular activities. All of those things add up. Who's going to be responsible for those? Which one?
Yeah. Who?
Somebody.
Yeah. Somebody has to.
Yeah. And if you don't understand what they are, you don't want to be sideswiped by a number that you didn't know halfway through the negotiation. So it's real important that we start to understand your household budget, not only so that you know where you came from, but also so we know where we're going, because we're going to help you with that. We're going to help you create a new personal financial management for yourself, because obviously we've gone from a household of two down to potentially two incomes, or maybe one primary income that's got to support two households now. So that dynamic is certainly going to change.
Well, it's complicated.
It does start to get complicated, but if you have someone in your corner that's genuinely helping you with those numbers, I like to refer to us as your financial advocate. We're going to make this process much easier. This isn't just about sitting across from the desk and crunching numbers. This is about sitting next to you at the desk and helping you understand those numbers.
Right. Beautiful.
So the next piece that's important, and it's much a peace of mind as it is towards the next step, is ordering a credit report. Now, this is going to help our clients understand what's out there, what's in their name individually, what's in their name jointly. Make sure things are accurate. Credit reports aren't always accurate. Very high percentage of credit reports are inaccurate. Sometimes it's simple things like addresses that haven't been updated, or even, marital status that's not updated. But it needs to be looked at because we need to understand not only what's in your name, but what's your purchasing power. How's your credit? What can we do to create a better credit environment for you? Has the divorce affected the credit? Has it not? What's your purchasing power? Because you may want to buy a new home. You may want to get your own credit card. And if your credit purchasing, I like to call your paper person, if your paper person has been maxed out, well, we got to get that taken care of so that you can get something in your individual name. And so taking a look at your credit report, very, very important process. And frankly, I tell everyone, whether you're going through this process of a divorce or a consideration of a divorce or not, you should be ordering your credit report once a year. In the U.S., there is no fee for that for once a year. So, and then, of course, there's plenty of places that you can order, your report quarterly and it bills you automatically. I don't know if that's necessary unless you see a problem on your report. But getting your credit report once a year, regardless of where you are in your life, is a really important thing.
Wow, this is serious stuff.
Very serious stuff, Mike.
Yeah. But it's, as you said, if you follow this and you're working along with a certified financial divorce analyst, you start to, I hope everyone who's tuning in and hearing this, it starts to kind of unpack for you, and it's correct information. It's not hearsay, rumor, popular opinion, somebody's suggestion, a friend of a friend of a friend. It's getting accurate information and building a plan to get you through and into what your next life on your own is going to look like.
Right, right. And that's really a good point, Nyla, is that, I work with a lot of different attorneys. We've been doing this for a while now, quite a while now, and we continue to gather and inform ourselves even more, right? We continue to educate ourselves and learn from different attorneys and learn from different CDFAs and even learn from different scenarios with clients. So we are constantly in this arena with our continuing education requirements and learning from different attorneys and learning from different professionals on, the best way to take approach to different scenarios and to help our clients, because we always wanted to try and do the very best that we can, again, to make a difficult situation a little bit harder or easier, so it doesn't have to be, it's life-altering in a moment, but doesn't have to be life-altering forever. Which brings us to the next step. So now we know we've gotten ourselves organized, right? We've started gathering our documents, and we understand what all of those are, or a big majority of them are. We understand how important it is to understand your household budget, and then, of course, ordering your credit report. And then the next two things are real important as well, because it's going to help you be able to take this next step and to build yourself kind of a financial nest egg, if time allows. And this is the caveat I'm going to add here, is if you feel unsafe in any way, you need to make a change. If you feel unsafe in any way, you need to move sooner than later. Contact someone at your church, contact your group, contact an attorney, whomever that might be. That caveat, of course, should always be there. Time is always on our side if we want to try to get all of these things done. But if you feel unsafe, if there's any reason at all that there is a time-sensitive issue here, you've already been served by your spouse and you have to take action, or somebody's trying to relocate and you have to take action, or if you feel unsafe in any way, we know that these scenarios are ideal. But if any of those situations are in place that are keeping these things from happening, then know that I obviously say contact an attorney and make movement happen. But if you have time, a little bit of time on your side, building a nest egg financially is going to be very, very important. If possible, begin saving some funds in anticipation of this move, because you are going to have to pay some bills potentially independently, even if it's for a short time. You may have to pay an attorney for their retainer fee.
Right.
So having access to funds, whether they're in your name individually or at least having access to funds through a joint account. The risk that we have as a joint account is that understand that not only do you have access to those funds, but so does your spouse. So if you want to go in there and take, $300 or $3,000 out, know that person, the other person on the other side of the fence, can do the same. So having something in just your name, having kind of squirreled away some funds, may make things a little easier for you at some point. And then, of course, but not least, is getting informed. This is where your team comes in, right? Seeing a CDFA, right. Positioning yourself with a good, strong team. That is what's going to help you have your first step feel like you're making a move with confidence and assurity. You may or may not have a divorce attorney yet, but we can talk through items like litigation, as I mentioned earlier, or mediation, collaborative divorce. the group here at Turning Tides Financial, as certified divorce financial analysts and financial advisors, we truly are your advocate, and we're going to help you understand how this process works, how to navigate through these, uncharted waters for yourself, help you understand each and every step and each document, every line on every page. Turning Tides Financial is here for you to help you, as you said earlier, Niles, we help you live your life and plan your future. And this process is simply creating a new financial future, and we're going to help you do that.
Wow, that was amazing. And folks, if this kind of went by and your crayon blew out or it broke, and that happens. I've had that happen. And you missed a step. Julian's going to let you know right now how you're going to be able to connect. And I can't express enough how important it is for you to get the right information, get the right tools, and the right information and the right knowledge and the right instruction and the correct direction on getting things done. I can't tell you how important that is, but I can say this. I've walked through this trench. I've done a lot of it on my own at the time, and it can be a long, drawn-out process because you're listening to this and that from this person and people at church and people in your circle of friends, and you just start spinning in this vortex that is like, I have no idea what to do. How am I going to get out of this? What does it look like on the other side? I don't know how to begin. I don't know how to navigate through this. You just got the recipe and the correct information and the connection. You got great tools with Julian and Katie at Turning Tides Financial to navigate you through this. Stop listening from the outside and turn your compass needle to Julian and Katie and book that meeting and get in there. Julian, how are they going to do that?
Absolutely. So thank you for that, Niles. We're going to invite everyone to come enjoy an hour and a coffee with us. We'd like to have you give us a call at 716-800-4290. Check out our website at turningtidesfinancial.com. Katie and I will both be available to you. Of course, my name is Julianne, and my business partner, Katie. Feel free to give us a call. We'll sit down, talk through this process with you. Certainly willing to sit down and talk to you about where you are in this entire process and where you'd like to be and see if we can help you. So give us a call at that number, and remember, Turning Tides Financial is your financial advocates in helping you live your life and planning your future.
Thanks, Julian. Can I give away a couple of gift certificates to get people motivated to get in there so they got something in their hand that says, here's my hour and a coffee? Can I do that?
Yes, please do.
Okay,
yes.
I'll let you go and begin your weekend. Thank you for putting that together as you did. I know it's time-consuming to put it all together in the right package and then present it to people. And it's a lot of information in even a 30-minute segment. It is a lot to wrap your brain around. So we're going to give away a couple of gift certificates so that you can get that hour and a coffee booked and sit down and discuss your circumstances if you're in the midst of a divorce or heading that direction, or you've been in that cyclone of, I don't know where I'm going with this. He's gone, she's gone, whatever the circumstances is. They abandoned me or she abandoned me, and you're just standing there going, I don't know when this is going to be over. Then you need a gift certificate right now. We're going to make that available. Julianne, have a great weekend. Say hi to Katie for me, and I'll be in touch.
All right, Niles.
As soon as possible.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your
time. God bless you.
Have a blessed weekend.